Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has one of His ways of rahmah and blessings upon us as Muslims, as human beings, is that He made the path to Jannah in multiple ways, in multiple avenues for you and I to enter Jannah. There is paths to enter Jannah of salah. Like you find people that enter Jannah by lots of praying and perfecting their salawat. You find people that like to enter Jannah through fasting, that they love to fast and would fast consistently. And through all these different avenues, if you were to look at every single path, you will find that the majority of these roads to Jannah are packed with people that are better than you and I. You have Sahabas, for example, there's a famous Sahabi that used to pray every single day from Duha until Dhuhr time, 500 rak'at, which who from us can catch people like them? You have people that pray Qiyam every single night from the night all the way until Fajr. If you look at the path of fasting, you will find people that fast better than you and more than you and I. Sadaqah, Hajj, Umrah, Bir al-Walidain, all those different paths. There is one path that, subhanAllah, has very limited passengers on it. And before I get to that, I want us to think to ourselves and ask ourselves a question. Which path do I want to enter Jannah through? What am I good at? That I can, Yawm al-Qiyamah, say, you know what? I was really good at the ibadah of salah, where I will even enter Jannah through the gate of salah, where I was always fasting, not just in Ramadan, but even outside of the month of Ramadan, or I give sadaqah, or I do this or that. Which ibadah are you good at and you perfected and you love and enjoy doing? Which ibadah do you actually enjoy doing in the first place? But one of these ibadats that is very rare, that a lot of us in today's society have not looked at it as a form of ibadah, but rather as a form of something that benefits us only, and that is the ibadah of dua. Dua itself, the Prophet says, ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah. Just the fact that you are making dua, raising your hand, asking Allah, humiliating yourself to Allah Azza wa Jal, humbling yourself, knowing that you are in need of everything from Allah, knowing that everything that you have comes from Him, that in of itself is an act of ibadah. Sometimes dua does not have to be where you only ask Allah for something where you are in need, but rather just raise your hand, showing Him that, Ya Allah, I want to act and do an act of ibadah by asking You, by thanking You, by acknowledging that everything that I have or everything that I will ever need is only from You. The problem is we treat dua today like it's our last resort. I get a lot of calls as an imam when people are sick or about to die on their deathbed. Families call, not just me, I'm sure, even your imam here, imams everywhere, where they feel like they went to hospitals and they did surgeries and tried this and tried that and so many different things and none of it worked. And they come towards the very end and say, Shaykh, please keep him in your dua. Where was that dua in the beginning? Allah in the Quran, Surah An-Naml that we just recited, He says, أَمَّن يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ. Who else will accept the dua of the person who calls Him during times of need and urgency other than Allah Azza wa Jal? وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ, and will relieve the calamities and trials and tribulations. وَيَجْعَلَكُمْ خُلَفَاءَ الْأَرْضِ أَإِلَهٌ مَعَ اللَّهِ. Is there anyone else other than Allah Azza wa Jal that will accept this dua? I want to ask the crowd a question, brothers and sisters. Who here has ever made dua asking Allah to make him a billionaire? Raise your hand. With a B, not an M, a B. Who asked Allah that dua before? One person. Those who didn't, why haven't you? I want someone to tell me, why haven't you made that dua before? Why haven't you made that dua before? طيب, fair enough. The reality is, we don't ask Allah and we haven't asked Allah that dua because we don't believe He will give it to us. That's why I didn't even go to trillionaire, because I'm sure not a single one of us, including the brother there, never asked to be a trillionaire. Because in our logic, we don't think that's possible at all. We're thinking if Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates haven't reached that status and we're nowhere near them, how is Allah going to make me a trillionaire? That's because our human logic always supersedes Allah's rahmah. You need to understand that Allah in the Hadith al-Qudsi, Hadith Abi Dharr Sahih Muslim, He says, Ya ibadi, O my servants, لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم, if all of you from the beginning of time until the end of time, humans and jinns, كانوا في صعيد واحد, you all gathered in one place, فسألوني, and they asked me everything that they could want. فأعطيت كل سائل مسألته, and I gave every one of you what you asked for. ما نقص ذلك من ملكي شيئا إلا كما ينقص المخيط إذا أدخل البحر. It will not decrease in Allah's kingdom a single bit. It will not impact Him. So when you are making dua, realize who you are talking to, who you are asking. Yes, in the eyes of the doctors, it is a hopeless case. In the eyes of human beings, this is impossible. We are sometimes even trained to not ask for so many big things all at once, where we can't just say, Ya Allah, I want a massive mansion, and I want a beautiful job, and I want a wonderful spouse, and I want millions in the bank. We divide them realistically. You ask Allah when you go to Umrah for health or a career. You ask Him on this day for that. But the ulama, when they mention the story of Musa alayhi salam, when Allah asked him, He says, اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى. Musa says to him, قال رب اشرح لي صدري. That's one. ويسر لي أمري وأحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي أشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا. He asked for 8 things. And the response of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ar-Rahim Al-Kareem, is قَدْ أُوتِيتَ سُؤْلَكَ يَا Musa. The ulama, the scholars, they say when you ask Allah, ask Him for everything, there may be a day where your dua matches a time of istijabah where Allah says, قَدْ أُوتِيتَ سُؤْلَكَ. So the act of ibadah, the act of humbleness and humility to Allah Azza wa Jal, in of itself is a very rare ibadah. It is one of the greatest ibadat for us to do. So utilize this act of ibadah, not just in times of need, but even in times of gratitude, even in times of normal peace. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.